Severe weather just keeps coming, and it's about to ramp up again in a big way. Another major outbreak is on the table over the next few days, starting today with a widespread threat from Texas all the way into the Great Lakes. The highest concern zones right now, parts of Oklahoma and Iowa, where storms later this afternoon and evening could produce damaging winds, large hail, and multiple tornadoes, some of which could become strong. But here's the thing. Today is not even the peak of this pattern, because a much more significant outbreak is shaping up for Friday, with the potential for very large hail, widespread damaging winds, and intense tornadoes. This pattern is far from finished, so let's break it all down. We've got a lot of important updates in today's forecast, starting with the current risk areas. The Storm Prediction Center has outlined a large slight risk stretching from Pennsylvania all the way back into Texas, with a broader marginal risk extending from New England down toward Abilene, Texas. That means all hazards are on the table today, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see an upgrade, especially somewhere in the Midwest, where the setup looks a bit more primed. Let's start with winds. We're expecting scattered, damaging wind gusts between 50 and 70 miles per hour, pretty similar to what we've seen recently. But the hail threat? That's where things stand out. Initial discrete supercells developing from Omaha to Des Moines into Davenport and southwest Wisconsin could produce hail up to 3 inches in diameter. That's apple-sized. And that same giant hail risk extends south from Wichita, Kansas, down toward Abilene, Texas. So yes, a dangerous hail day is setting up. Now let's talk tornadoes. This is what I'm really watching. From around 2 p.m. through midnight, there's a window for tornado development stretching from Pennsylvania down into Dallas-Fort Worth, including Oklahoma and Iowa. And I'll be honest, this area may expand in future outlooks. Today has been trending upward in terms of severe potential. I'm especially watching areas like Des Moines, where there's already a hatched 5% tornado risk. That signals the possibility of strong tornadoes. There's another hatched zone from just north of Dallas through Springfield, Missouri. So we are absolutely talking about the potential for strong, possibly intense tornadoes later today. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings, and stay tuned. We'll likely be live with storm chasers on the ground covering this in real time. Now moving into Thursday, the severe threat shifts mainly into the northeast, with some lingering activity in the Ohio Valley and Mississippi Valley. This looks more like a lower-end setup, mainly damaging winds, some hail, and a very low tornado risk from Buffalo into parts of New England. So overall, Thursday is quieter but not completely calm, because Friday, we're right back into a major situation. A dangerous and widespread severe weather outbreak is likely across the plains and Midwest, stretching from northern Wisconsin all the way down into Texas. All hazards are on the table again. Damaging winds, large to very large hail, and strong tornadoes. And this could evolve into a large squall line, meaning widespread thunderstorms across a huge region. Friday is going to be a busy day. Now let's talk timing, starting today in the Midwest. This setup has really trended more aggressive. By around 1 p.m., storms could begin developing just south of Des Moines. From there, they're expected to intensify quickly, and I do think some of these could become tornadic fairly fast. By 2 p.m., we're already seeing multiple cells firing west of Davenport. If these storms remain discrete, meaning separated from each other, the risk for strong tornadoes increases significantly. Even near Omaha, a few supercells could develop. While the tornado setup isn't quite as strong there, large hail, possibly baseball-sized, is definitely possible. By 3 to 4 p.m., storm intensity ramps up quickly across eastern Iowa, northern Illinois, and southern Wisconsin. And here's something important. There's very little morning convection today. That means the atmosphere stays unstable, and that increases the tornado threat this afternoon. By 5 p.m., we could have multiple rotating storms across Missouri, southern Iowa, and along the Iowa-Illinois-Wisconsin border. Some of these could be producing tornadoes. Now, I want to stress this. Today could go either way. it could stay more of a standard slight risk day. Some hail, some wind, maybe a couple tornadoes. Or, if storms stay discreet and the environment fully taps in, this could turn into a much more significant tornado day across Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin. The ceiling is there, and that's what makes this concerning. By 6 p.m., storms approach Chicago, Milwaukee, and Kenosha. Meanwhile, storms continue in Iowa along a cold front, bringing hail and possibly an isolated strong tornado. Then, by 7 to 8 p.m., storms move into southern Michigan. At that point, storms start clustering together, shifting more towards damaging winds with a few embedded tornadoes possible. But between 8 and 9 p.m., southern Michigan, places like Flint, Detroit, Coldwater, you could be dealing with a significant damaging wind threat. So stay alert tonight. Now let's shift south. From St. Louis down into the Red River Valley, we expect discrete to semi-discrete supercells this afternoon. Near St. Louis, mainly wind and hail. But further south, that's where things could get more serious. Between 4 and 5 p.m., storms may develop near North Texas, possibly just outside Dallas-Fort Worth. Also watching near Norman, Oklahoma. These storms could produce giant hail, and yes, possibly a strong tornado. And again, this setup is trending more concerning. If storms stay isolated, the tornado threat increases. If too many storms form at once, they interfere with each other and reduce that risk. That's the big question today. By 7 to 8 p.m., storms spread across Oklahoma, with hail, wind, and a few tornadoes possible. Storms moving into Arkansas should weaken later tonight, similar to what we saw recently, mostly gusty winds and maybe brief rotation. Thursday brings scattered storms again across the Northeast and Ohio Valley, mainly wind and hail. Now let's jump to Friday. This is a big one. Widespread storms expected from Minnesota and Wisconsin down into Texas and Oklahoma. Initial supercells could produce tornadoes, supported by strong wind shear and a powerful low-level jet. And yes, some of these tornadoes could be strong. Even after sunset, the environment remains favorable, so a nocturnal tornado threat is possible. By mid-afternoon, around 2 to 3 p.m., storms begin developing across the plains. By 4 to 5 p.m., these storms quickly organize into a large line. That's when we shift to a widespread damaging wind event, gusts 60 to 80 miles per hour. And within that line, embedded tornadoes. That's what we call a QLCS tornado threat. This line will push across Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Wisconsin, and Illinois, bringing widespread impacts. Later into the evening, we'll also watch for new storms in Texas and Oklahoma, where conditions may support additional strong tornadoes. By Saturday morning, that system pushes east into the Ohio Valley, bringing more wind and a few tornadoes. Saturday continues with scattered severe storms across the Ohio Valley and deep south. And finally, by Sunday, things start to calm down across much of the country. But we've got to get through the next several days first, because even beyond that, more severe weather may return by mid to late next week. April is not done. So here's the bottom line. Stay alert, stay prepared. We'll likely be live later today with full coverage, including storm chasers on the ground. Make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, and don't miss updates. And if you want real-time tracking, check out the 24/7 live weather stream on the second channel. Live radar, cameras, and constant updates. This is a serious stretch of weather. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next update or live stream.